Usually, Daniel is co-hosting and asking the questions and sharing engineer wisdom that I learned from. Today, he is in the chair. He is the subject of today's episode.
Yeah, I'm excited to be joining this chair. Um, I will switch my camera in 10 seconds.
Okay, you got it. Well, I'm gonna give a little bit more context while you do that. So Daniel's story is one that a lot of people aspire to. He grew up in Curitiba. Am I saying that right? Curitiba.
Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
Curitiba.
Curitiba. And whenever I try to speak in Brazilian Portuguese, it sounds Russian to me, but that's just me butchering it.
Yeah.
He moved into computer engineering after starting in economics, and decided that that was a better path. So we'll dig into that a little bit. What else? Talked his way into a Silicon Valley startup from the other side of the planet. No Stanford pipeline, no Bay Area zip code, no warm intro from a famous fund. So today is how did you actually do it? How did you get from being outside the valley into working for a company in Silicon Valley? How do you keep leveling up when you're working in a different time zone? How do you turn all of that into something that you actually want, I believe, long term, which is building something of your own? Let's be honest. That's a big thing that we're all aspiring to do here. So if you're watching this and dreaming about your own startup, your own company, this is for you. Daniel, welcome to the wrong side of the camera.
Yeah, thanks for having me today. I kind of wanted to have like those stream boards, audio boards, so I could like do some audio reactions and
right.
like whenever someone joins, we
Applause
can
or some people shout.
Yeah,
we need to build those in.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's. Go ahead.
Where should I start it from? Because there's the long
I
story, there's the short story. So
yeah, I mean, I think we can go somewhat in chronological order, but I think we can, take it wherever it needs to go. So you got to college. You were doing economics, and what made you pivot into engineering, computer engineering?
Yeah, I'll go a little bit back in the
sure.
Yeah, so I can explain why the economics happened.
Okay, cool.
So from the beginning of the story, I come from a really low income background. So my parents don't have money at all. And I wanted to study when I was a little kid. So I was 12 years old when this story begins. So a doctor worked with my mom. And she let this doctor know that I wanted to study, and I was not happy with the school that I was going to. And in Brazil, public schools outside college, so before college, public schools is not a very good level of education compared to private schools.
Mm-hmm.
And I was studying at public school, and then I got like a recommendation letter from this doctor because he saw some potential. And then the plan was little Daniel, 12 years old, with a recommendation letter and the violin. So I used to play the violin.
Oh, nice.
My dad dropped me off into this school, like by myself. And then I was like, hey, I do have a appointment with the director of this school.
Yeah.
And at first they didn't want to let me go because I was just a little kid. Like, where's your dad? Kind of thing. And I was like, no, it's just me. They were not believing. So then I handed off actually I sent a message to this mentor, and then he told me, hey, hand the recommendation letter. And then they figured out it was serious. And at that time I got my first scholarship.
Wow.
Where I stayed there until before going to university. And right before I went to university, here in Brazil, you can apply to different colleges, and there's like a national exam. And then I applied to different engineering schools, and I was accepted before I completed my last year. So kind of like at the half of the year, my situation was already solved. And it was like, I don't need to go to school, like finish the school. I want to work. And it was, and then I asked, can you find a job for me, like for this mentor? Like he became a,
Yeah.
very close friend of mine, and then asked for a job to work. He did have a friend who was doing a investment firm here in
Mm.
this tiny city in Brazil where I live. He was starting this investment firm, and then I joined right at the beginning. So I started working with investment, and I didn't have any background on that, but
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that experience.
Yeah.
So until the end of the year,
Yeah.
I worked there, and there was
Yeah.
a person that is a he's the head of finance of a investment fund in Brazil, and he happens to be a professor at a really good uh, school university in Brazil about economics. And then the
Okay.
plan was, okay, this guy is telling me that the best school for economics in Brazil is in São Paulo. I
Mm.
want to be in the best place possible.
Yeah.
He told me that this university has this scholarship program, amazing scholarship program, and I will apply to this. And then I went to the website, and the days, like, it was closed already. There was the application date was
Pass.
yeah. So then I was like, I need to go to Sao Paulo to study. I want to
Yeah.
do economics. What is my second best option? And then I applied to another university called Mackenzie, where I got a scholarship there as well.
Mm.
And but it was just the tuition, right? So I don't have money. My parents that
I
don't
see.
have money. I
Right.
don't know anyone in São Paulo, but I
Yeah.
do have this scholarship. And I grew up at the church. Okay,
Ah,
so this
yeah.
is this is a relevant context.
Yeah.
Um, and throughout this story, like, depends on how many details I'm telling, but there is, like, someone could think this is coincidence, and I will always interpret this as, like, as my faith view of stuff. So, like, God was preparing all this stuff, so these scholarships, this random coincidence that happens. And one of them was, i I got the scholarship. I didn't know anyone in Sao Paulo, and I had to move in. So, like, from Wednesday to Saturday, I was moving. So I got the result, and I told my mom, I'm going to Sao Paulo. And then, so as my plan was, like, there's no way no one at the church will give me a place to stay. Like, there's no way. Like, that's not what people teach there. So I got another, like, kind of a recommendation letter from someone from the church that I go here in my city. And then my plan was to present this recommendation letter to someone in Sao Paulo,
Mm.
right? And then I packed my stuff. No money, the card, the
No
the
way.
recommendation letter, and the,
Yeah.
the scholarship. And then I go to a church, and
No.
I'm like, I that's my story. I have no place to sleep today. Is
No.
there a way for me to sleep in the church? And
No.
that was the plan. And the only thing that didn't work is the bus that I was going to catch to go to São Paulo broke at the middle of the journey. So, and, like, it's not like the church is open all day. It is open during the services
Right.
moments, and then
Right.
the church that I was supposed to go was closed already. And then I go to another church where there's other people that was not the planned path. I tell the story. They tell me to stay until the night to talk to the uh, other people in the church. I
Mm.
explained the thing. They let me in, and then I stayed living in São Paulo in a church for um, a period of time, and until I figured out another place that I could exchange work for a place to live while
Mm.
I was studying economics. And
Wow.
this was a very um, not pleasant moment in my life.
Yeah.
It was there was a lot of learnings, and I was always thinking after 6 months I'll go to the plan A. That is
Mm,
the best place I could study. Okay, so
mm,
that was the mindset. And after
right.
6 months, I got the scholarship at
Wow.
Inspire. That is, Inspire is like Ivy League level in
Wow.
Brazil,
Wow.
and they have a really good scholarship program where I received a place to live, a monthly payment so I could buy my stuff,
Wow.
and like compensation. So there was like
Like a little
money
stipend,
plus,
something, some
yeah,
pocket money
yeah,
so that you could, yeah.
yeah. And
Wow.
versus like the other one was like I was eating at the church every day. I get like a meal at, like I would eat at the church and get a meal to eat
To go.
when it was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Pack lunch.
yeah. So
Wow.
and the thing is, I was a student, I was studying economics. That was my plan. But
Mm,
I and then I applied to economics at Inspire, and this was my plan A. But
mm.
there was two ways for me to apply to there was two paths for me to apply to Inspire. One using the national exam, and the other one is the exam from the university, right?
Mm,
So two
mm.
paths. I was like, I won't apply for economics in the two paths. Let me do something different. Then I said, I like engineering. Why not? I apply
What?
main path economics, path B engineering, right?
Okay.
That's what I did. And the result for engineering come out first, and I got the scholarship. So I
Wow.
signed the thing, and the next
Wow.
day I got the result for economics. But I
Yeah.
was already signed everything. I was
You'd already done it. You
yeah,
committed.
and that's how I ended up from studying economics to studying engineering.
Wow.
And
So it was just whichever appeared in the
a
mail first.
coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm really glad that that's how everything happened. And I'm really like grateful for all these opportunities.
Yeah.
And all throughout the course, I applied to computer engineering. So there
Mhm.
was a lot of hardware. It is a engineering background, so there's a lot of math, physics, chemistry, plus hardware for computer engineering, plus software,
Right.
right? And throughout the course, it is a um, full-time enrollment. So the university wants you to study full-time. They don't want you to do anything at all. So they put
Mm.
classes at the morning, at before noon, like in the middle of the afternoon, to
Right.
to
They
make sure
basically
that you,
lock up your schedule so that
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
do anything.
yeah, yeah. And they in Brazil, you can't, like, if you're studying, if you're
Yeah.
a um, if
Full-time
you
student.
are, yeah, if you are full-time student, you can't just work. You need to get
Really?
the permission from the university. uh,
Wow. Somebody's
if you
monitoring that. Somebody's actually like
so
looking over your
there's
shoulder and making sure you're not.
there's like, I could hire you as a full-time employee,
Mm.
but you don't expect someone from a undergraduate to be able to get a
Right.
full-time offer.
Right.
They need to get a like internship, and the
Right.
university needs to sign this
Right.
approval for the internship, and Inspire does not, right?
Okay. Okay.
So they allow summer internships and
Yeah.
winter internships, but not during the school period.
Academic year. Right.
Yeah. And so that was my situation. And what I did after the first semester, I got, I think my first experience was being like, we call ninja, but is a professor's assistant. So it's
Okay.
professor is doing the class, right? And there is
Yep.
those assistants that if
Yep.
someone
I
has
saw that.
some
Yeah.
question,
On your
some doubt,
LinkedIn.
or like, yeah. And then that was my first paid role related to software engineering. And this is when I say I was a professor's assistant, it looks like, oh, you're a professor's assistant, and people will think, oh, that's a like high level or like at least like
Right.
a real job, right? But so I kind of try to use this will make sense on later on, but I
Yeah.
try to use this title to get
Yeah.
like my first job, you know.
Right.
And then
Right. Right.
and then like when people were interviewing me, they're like,
Yeah.
so you didn't finish your school, like what do you mean like you're a professor's assistant? And then I wouldn't land the job,
Oh.
which I can explain later. But the first job that I actually got, like real job, not this first position, was as a data engineer, and I
Okay.
landed that as a summer internship.
Yeah.
Right, so summer internship, like it will be like 2 months role, and but at the end and right at the first interview, I was like, my university does not sign internships. Okay. So
Okay.
I want to work here and I want to continue working here.
All right.
And but you will figure out on your side. Okay. And after the 2 months that the summer internship will finish, they liked me so much that they skipped the whole hiring in a intern and
Right.
signed me a full-time job.
Boom.
So I was able to do my I was able to like be a full-time student and a full-time and
And
get my
okay.
full-time job. And yeah, parallel to that, I remember that mentor that
Yeah.
was that. So he's both a doctor and a farmer. So he has a farm here in Brazil, and I was the financial guy that will manage financial stuff. So manage all the payments, paying everyone that was working, making sure that
You were doing that?
yeah, I was doing that. So I was full-time student, full-time job plus another job. So I was like having 3 jobs at the same time, kind of thing.
You sending paychecks home to your mom at this point? Is that or are you holding three
I
jobs?
was really good at saving money back
There
then.
you go.
So I actually I would use like the least amount of money possible to keep. Like I
Yeah.
would buy only the basic stuff. Like
Right.
really.
Right. Right.
So I was
Bread, milk,
extremely
eggs.
cheap. Yeah, like only the minimum amount, the minimum
Right.
possible, and I was able to
Right.
save. So
Yeah.
this only changed a few years later after
Okay. Right.
I
Right.
married. Then I stopped being that way, but it was
Right.
extremely like
You were frugal. You were frugal. Thrifty.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so there's a lot there, and I think what we're getting is this sense of like you kind of were quite exceptional, and maybe that's like, how do you make the transition from obviously you're kind of very you have a lot of initiative, so how do you make the leap from being in this environment to finding work within a startup in Silicon Valley? Because this isn't your
Yeah.
first job in Silicon Valley, right?
No. The thing is, I always wanted to land a international job. Always, like since the beginning of the university, I knew like I can't sell my time. I can sell my time using my local currency, or I can sell in dollars where I'll get like 5 times more, or in euros, or like so that's the reality. There is this spread. And
Right.
I knew
right,
like if I'm selling my time, it's
I need
better
to
for me
sell
to
it
be selling in like a
all-
strong currency.
Right. Right.
So I always wanted that. But the thing is, I didn't have the requirements to land the job. So what I will do, since for example, I was talking that I would use my title as professor's assistant to try to get the job. I would apply to hundreds of jobs per day. Like I built a system that would crawl all the jobs from LinkedIn. This is before AI was a like spread as we have to. So this is pre ChatGPT. Build a script that would crawl the internet looking for Python developer jobs and send emails to everyone. Like I would send like hundreds of emails every day and maybe get like 10 replies and try to get schedule interviews. I was able to get some interviews, and then they will see, okay, this guy didn't finish his graduation.
Right.
He doesn't have a real job, no real world experience. So I would not pass. And if I pass the bar, and then there was jobs roles that required. Actually, I think like most of the open positions is for U.S. natives, so
Right.
or U.S. residents, and I was not. And even though I was not, I would apply to these roles as well and
Sure.
pass. And then at some
Hey.
point they will ask, and then I will be like filtered out, right?
Yeah.
Because of so there is
Because at that
that
point you need to pay for sponsor a visa, right? So that's a
yeah
consideration, right?
yeah there's all of that until so so I didn't have the requirements. I kept my job in Brazil. I worked on a it was I would say like a big startup that was acquired for a like giant company here in Brazil, and I worked on projects there during COVID. So the economy was suffering, and the main product from that company was lending money to small businesses, and we were again, this is pre ChatGPT. We were developing our own models to evaluate if this company is going to pay or not the loan.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the business.
Yeah.
And how much can we lend? What
Yeah.
is the how much will this company need to pay back? What is the
Yeah.
like all this stuff we're
Yeah.
doing machine learning algorithms to
Yeah.
predict that. And I was working as a data engineer, building the data required to train the model and to deploy the model and run. So I think the coolest um, project I worked there was to actually inject millions of dollars in Brazil economy running on my API. My API would predict if this applicant is going to pay or not, give all the variables necessary, and go to the next step. So essentially, like go or no go for this person and on what conditions.
Criteria. Yeah.
So that was my first, I guess, like big project, and the team that I worked was was a small team. It was not a software engineering team. It was a data engineering team, and only uh, well, so it was a data engineering team, and I had the head of data on this team was not a person with software background. He used to use some drag and drop. Um, is a software called Nime. So you build whole flows using little boxes and connecting them, and that is the thing he used. He's like a master in statistics in math, but not on software. So I didn't have a reference, like a reference person, a senior person on software that could teach me. So everything that I did was based on whatever works, it works.
Right.
It doesn't have right or wrong. Either it works or it doesn't. And if it
Yeah.
works, we're happy. So there was like some pipelines for data processing that will run on my laptop. Like my personal
Wow.
laptop was
No
processing
way.
like I don't know, gigabytes or terabytes of data every day to process this data.
Wow.
And I didn't know, right? But that was the style of team that I was at this company. Like
Right. So kind
do
of
it.
scrappy startup, kind of
Yeah.
felt more like Silicon Valley culture in that way.
Yeah. And there was software team where there was a lot of rules and you can do this, you can do that,
Right.
and blah blah blah. But it was
Right.
not that. I was in the data engineering team. We have the task. We need to get it done. Go fast. Make
Yeah.
it
Yeah. Yeah.
make your work right. Make your work fast. That was the thing. The thing that I was that was my um, routine here. And then okay, so I built this. I don't know if it was 1 year or 2 years on this company, and then I got a proposal to join IBM as a
Yes.
consultant, and
Right.
and then the project that I was assigned is data engineering at the largest private bank in South America. So I was
Okay.
working on pipelines for uh, un, anti laundry, anti money laundry,
Anti-money laundering
money
services.
laundering. Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Right. That's
That
cool.
was the project. Yeah, the project that was going on that I was working on there. But the thing is, I just switched from a startup like environment to the most
Right. Rigid,
bureaucratical, yeah,
kind of, yeah,
rigid, full of rules. Like
accountable, like like full visibility, like everything
so,
has to be triple checked.
if in old world, we would say, hey, let's do this, and we do
Yeah.
it. The new
Yeah.
world is like, hey, that's what we need to do. This was discussed by a lot of people. Everyone sent the
Yeah.
OKRs on email. Everyone
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
If we want to do a deploy to prod, we need to ask permission to do that in schedule, and then full of rules. So this wasn't the best environment for me. Like that's not my personality.
You lasted there 4 months.
Yeah, I lasted there 4 months, and this I think, and from my first job to this one, this was, I don't know, 3 times. I was getting like 3 times more on
Yeah.
this
Right.
bank
Sure.
job.
Sure.
But I was, that was not my thing, and I was always, don't forget, I was applying to U.S. jobs. I was trying,
100
right,
a day.
and and I decided. So I wanted to land this international job, but
Yeah.
I didn't yet. But
Yeah.
I wanted so bad
Yeah.
that I quit my job. I told my wife. My wife was a worked as a software engineer as well back then,
Oh, cool.
and I told her, "Hey, I'm gonna quit my job. I need you to keep yours, so we have money to pay stuff." Um, I
I know how to
told
live
my
on just bread and water and eggs.
Yeah, exactly. I told my coworkers I'm leaving because I found a international job. That's why I'm leaving.
You said that.
Yeah, that was my excuse
This
to
was
leave.
a
Like there
complete
was,
fabrication.
yeah,
This was a lot.
yeah, completely fabrication. It was, but it
Okay.
was the excuse I was using to leave that job, and then I did, and I was out of job for, I don't remember. It wasn't that long, but I was
Right.
applying every day. I was using Upwork, that
Yeah.
freelancing
Yeah.
platform,
Marketplace.
applying every day, applying every day, applying every day to tons of jobs until I landed the first one as a data
Mm.
engineer as well. And after the first project, I landed the second one. And at the second one, we didn't keep on Upwork. We just made a contract outside Upwork. I
There you
worked
go.
with them for a year. Those guys were from New York. They're called Jonathan Chan and Brian Lee. And
Okay. Upwork, by the way, is sending them an invoice for the stuff that they didn't pay. So they're
yeah. Yeah,
Carry
but
on.
I was receiving a very small amount of money. $5 is
Sure.
all I
Yes,
got.
yes.
Anyway, so a year later, the project finished, and I was out of job again, right? But now I have international experience, and I kept like looking for jobs, but I wasn't finding. And in a magical coincidence, Jonathan sent an email to Sam Audio saying,
Wow.
"Hey Sam, I know you're looking for your next thing. I
Wow.
worked with Daniel. I think you guys should talk."
Yeah.
I go to that call,
Yeah.
and 15 minutes later I was hired.
Yeah.
And this happened 2 years
yeah.
ago.
2 years.
2 years ago, yeah. And Sam was very much skeptical about hiring me because I didn't have a background in software. I did have a data engineering background. Even though I do have a graduation in computer engineering, my real work experience is in data, right, and not
Yeah.
software.
Right.
And there was a lot of stuff that I didn't have some senior person to teach me the best practices.
Right.
And I mean, I was up to learning everything. So even though I've never programmed in Swift to create Mac OS apps, Sam told us that that was the thing we're doing, and it was like, yeah, let's go. Hey, ChatGPT, how can I create my app? That was the beginning of
Exactly,
ChatGPT.
man.
That was ChatGPT was around that. So
Wow.
and that was like copying and pasting code from here from there, and then we shipped our Shellmate. That was third product of the day on Product Hunt.
Wow. What was it called? Sorry?
Shellmate.
Shellmate.
Shellmate, like shell, like your terminal, and mate,
Oh,
like
right.
your mate. So Shellmate. And that project we developed together with Mary. So it was Sam, Mary, and me. We
Wow.
did this. I think we kept the team. I think Lucas joined for a little
Yeah.
when we were exploring, but it was too startup, too like unclear, and then so it was a short time with Lucas, and we did that for a year, and then the CEO joined, right, Cameron, and then we went like from zero to I don't know if I should disclose that, but like a few millions in it's not valuation because it's I think it's post money something, right? But yeah, like from zero to a
Very valuable
few
company
millions,
that has
very
had
valuable company that has
users. Maybe how many users did you end up? You know?
I think we were a few hundreds that were registered.
Right.
Yeah. So that was the journey, and since then I'm exploring all different sort of projects and ideas with AI with Sam, and doing all of that in public.
I think what's kind of remarkable here is obviously there's a lot of things that fell into place along the way for you, and I think that's something that I've noticed in my life. Although I don't, practice a faith, there's always this kind of feeling that something somehow magically always turns up, and I don't pretend to know what that is, but it is remarkable that it's almost like you have to kind of, as they say, like dress for the job you want, put yourself in the mindset that you're going to accomplish it, and eventually these things do pay off. They come together, and the fact that you are now in this must be what, your third project with Sam, is probably
Yeah.
tribute to that.
Yeah, I don't know how we define projects. I would say
Because
company.
there's so many.
Officially, that's the second company.
Okay. But there's been many pivots.
Yeah,
along the
many
way, right?
pivots. Yeah.
That's that's an exciting thing about being in a startup. And something that I'm learning actually is that you it's that ready, fire, aim situation of you just keep testing hypothesis until you strike gold.
One that works. Yeah.
And that is the core thesis of why we're here and why we're building in public, guys, is that we are a team in search of a product, and there are many things that we've struck upon, namely particularly seeds. We're exploring this notion of identifying these seeds and making sure that they're usable, that they're safe, that there's a level of trust that that we're the bar for trust and these seeds that we're building. But here's the thing: we're at time. We're a little over. I think there's a lot more to uncover here. We're dedicating Fridays, you guys, to getting to know people, members of the team, but also our viewers. So we will continue to pick up where Daniel left off. There's a lot more to uncover here, and you should follow him on his personal channels. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing the installment so far. We'll come back to for part 2 in the subsequent weeks, and look out, guys, for coming on the show on Friday, one of these weeks, because we are going to continue to learn about our audience as well as putting hosts in the spotlight. So
yeah,
thank you
thanks so much for having me, and everyone that joined the chat. See you on Monday.
Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.